Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to episode number 124 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be talking all about what I like to call Swiss Army knife marketing. And so this is going to be talking about how to make your marketing more effective, what you should do to create content that's more effective, how you can make all of your ads more effective, and just how you can really improve the reach and also the results of your marketing in general. So it's going to be a great episode, and I hope that you enjoy it. Before we begin, I want to mention a few things. First, this episode is being sponsored by usedvetequipment.com. Head on over to usedvetequipment.com. This is a website by Brad Haven. It's been online for 5 years, and Brad actually reached out when I first started the podcast. So he's been around for a long time, and he's been doing a great job helping to bring buyers and sellers together. So do you have any used vet equipment in your storage room that you're looking to sell? Are you looking to save money buying used? This is a way for you to be connected with other veterinary practices and veterinary professionals to find or sell used vet equipment. They have everything from cages and kennels, x-rays, ultrasounds, surgery and laser equipment, laboratory equipment from IDEXX or Abaxis, tables, tubs, sinks, and a lot of other miscellaneous items. So if you're looking to buy or sell, head on over to usedvetequipment.com. It's kind of like the eBay for vets. Website works great. He's got it all figured out with a cool kind of escrow system so that both the buyer and the seller are protected. You can read a bunch of testimonials on the website at usedvetequipment.com. That's usedvetequipment.com. All right, one thing I also wanted to mention too was that I started a new Facebook group. It's called Veterinary Marketing Nerds. So if you like digital marketing, and I'm assuming you do if you listen to this podcast, you probably do, head to veterinarymarketingnerds.com. It will forward you to the Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. I just want to make sure that it's private so that there's no spammers in it. It's just a lot of good value. There's some really amazing people in it already. We're almost at 100 people inside that group. So just started it on, I think, Saturday. And so want to make sure that you get in there too. We're going to talk about all kinds of really in-depth marketing things. We're going to be talking about Google Analytics, paid ads, paid traffic, and just get really nerdy about digital marketing. So if you like digital marketing, that is the place that you need to be. So head on over to veterinarymarketingnerds.com. It will forward you to the Facebook group. So let's get into today's episode. Today, the episode is called Swiss Army Knife Marketing. And Swiss Army Knife Marketing is something that I kind of just developed as far as I see a lot of practices doing this, and it just kind of reminded me of a Swiss Army knife. So let's get into it. First, we need to talk about a few things. So if you're trying to find out if your marketing is producing return on investment for your practice, this is going to be very helpful because a lot of practices get out, they start doing marketing, and when you say digital marketing to veterinary practices, for the most part, they think content creation, which is absolutely true. Content creation is a very, very important part of digital marketing. But you can't just create content. You can, but you have to create a huge volume of it, and it's hard to measure your return on investment. So let's talk about how we can improve our return on investment in digital marketing. I think as we start here, we need to really think about driving people through our funnel to become clients. And so that means that they have to move down the funnel through the 3 steps of becoming a client, basically. And so you can kind of break it down. Obviously, there's different ways to talk about this, but this is one thing that I talk about quite a bit. And this is something that I use in marketing for clients all the time. So first you have awareness, which is people have to know about you before they can even decide to do business with you. So if somebody doesn't know that you exist, there's no way that they can come into your practice. So you have to be aware of you, and then they have to evaluate you, and they're going to think about, should they actually become a client in your practice? And then they will convert, which is the bottom of the funnel. So we have top, awareness, middle of the funnel, evaluation, and conversion, which is the bottom. And so the bottom of the funnel is my favorite part because it's where you make money. And that's pretty cool. So with the conversion, you get to hopefully continue that conversion over and over again, not just one time, so that you have clients that come back over and over again. So with veterinary practices, it seems like to me a lot of the marketing that gets done is done for typically awareness, where they'll post pictures of cute clients that come in the door, which is great. It helps people become aware. It helps you get new likes and new followers and things. But they aren't doing a lot of the middle or bottom of funnel activities. And so that's where you can actually measure return on investment better. So one thing that I like to think too is that digital marketing really mirrors relationships in person, and this probably will help you think about how your marketing can help to increase not only the number of clients you have, but the number of relationships you have with potential clients online. So the digital marketing that I do, I like to think about it how you're kind of creating a relationship like you would normally have in real life, where you would meet somebody, you get to know them better. You would, not just go ahead and ask them to marry you right away, but you would take them through the steps of getting to know a person, either becoming a friend or, if you're looking to become a friend, you have to not just show up and expect that you're best friends all of a sudden. You have to build that relationship and then become friends, kind of thing. And digital marketing is the same way. So with that kind of thought in mind, a lot of the practices that I see doing marketing, or actually a lot of businesses in general, they'll post things that are definitely evaluation type posts. And these awareness posts are being used for so many things. So they'll post up an ad and it'll maybe have just some text on it, not an ad, but a piece of content or something from their Instagram. And it'll just have some, cute pictures on it. And then they expect that this should drive people to set appointments. And I think that's setting yourself up for failure, because it's like using a Swiss Army knife for surgery. And that's why I call this Swiss Army knife marketing, because you're using one piece of content and you're expecting it to perform all of these activities and perform all of these type of different kind of KPIs that you're looking to achieve. And in reality, it's not necessarily a very good, evaluation or a conversion post. It's very good at awareness, but not the other two. So that's where Swiss Army knife marketing comes into play. So not only are people doing it with their marketing pieces, but also with their websites, with their landing pages, with their emails. And so today we're going to hopefully change that. So the quickest way to set your veterinary practices marketing up for failure is to create content that is not going to actually be able to achieve the desired end result. So I hope that makes sense, but it's like asking a fish to climb a tree, right? And you throw it out there and you're like, Jesus, fish is not climbing this tree. It's not going to work out. Just in the same way, a picture of puppies is not going to likely convert to dental month. I mean, it may, because you get more people looking and they'll think, hey, I need to bring my dog in. But that's not typically what happens. So let's talk about how you should be marketing, or you should be measuring the effectiveness of each one of your pieces of marketing. So for awareness, you're trying to make people aware of you. So here's the kinds of things that you're going to want to measure to know if it's working. So you're going to want to know if you're showing up in branded search. You're going to want to measure retargeting list growth. You're going to try and get site engagement rates up. You're going to try and increase the number of inbound links. So if you write a piece of content and other people link to it, that's a way that you could measure the effectiveness of your marketing. You'll also be able to measure the number of clicks that it got, how many views the page got, and then also social engagement numbers. And that's things like views and post likes and stuff like that. So if you're trying to create a piece of content and those are your goals, then you're going to want to make an awareness type piece of content. So what would be appropriate, what would be effective, and you probably know this because you have experience marketing, you know what works to get views and likes and clicks and shares and comments and all these other things. So if you have a piece of content like that, you're kind of should be measuring from the perspective of awareness. So what of these kind of KPIs are you going to be actually using? And how is it going to be effective for your practice? And so thinking about it instead of just throwing it up there and saying, you know what, it's just not working. I can't get it to work. Well, it's because that you're not using the right tool. You're expecting it to do too many things, which is the Swiss Army knife marketing that I've been talking about. So then evaluation, the KPIs that you're going to want to focus on, you're trying to build the list of people who are going to be interested or are thinking about becoming a client at this stage. And so this is where the metrics become a little bit easier to measure as far as ROI, because if you know things like what your email list subscriber is worth, or what your conversion rate is for a specific list or something like that, you'll be able to kind of figure out what the return on investment is here. So that's things like email list growth, specific offer retargeting list growth, so people that are going and looking at a specific piece of content or specific offer. So if you have dog breath tips, right, and how to get your dog's breath less stinky, that's going to be a specific offer that you can retarget for dental month, something like that. This is going to be people actually liking your page, following you, or engaging in that next step and saying, yep, I want to see what you're posting and take it to the next level. That's people are evaluating you at that point. App downloads, if you have an app for your practice, that's definitely a good metric to use. And then lead growth, which is just phone numbers or actual leads of people who are interested in potentially becoming clients with you. And then we have conversion. So the things that you're going to measure across the conversion stage, this is really easy, or should be easy to measure return on investment here, because we're increasing the number of clients who are either returning or coming in for the first time. So that's things like numbers of appointments booked, it's number of sales, it's your client retention rate, and how often are they coming back, how often people buy and what their frequency of buying is, and then retargeting list growth of people who've bought, and then conversion on specific offers. So with this, we're really trying to drive a specific offer. So if you had a Facebook post or a Facebook ad, let's say that you created an ad campaign and it was specifically targeted at your email list, retargeting list of clients that you've had, and you're telling them, hey, 25% off for dental month, or whatever your dental month offer is. That would be a great conversion type post. But at the same time, if you're targeting it at current clients who are going to come in for dental month, it's not going to be a great post that gets likes and shares and builds your awareness. So creating content, creating marketing pieces that really focus on one specific objective is, in my opinion, probably the best way to get your marketing to actually perform for you. And so just like if I was to say to a doctor who's going into surgery, hey, here is a Swiss Army knife, please go ahead and do surgery with this knife. And they'd be like, this is not the right knife, this doesn't actually do a good job. I mean, it cuts things, but it's not surgical like I need. So it's finding the right tool for the right job. So let's talk about now what kind of tools help you to achieve better results. So we talked about marketing types and marketing content types, and I think that is very, very important to think about. But at the same time, I think the tools that you use for your veterinary practice's marketing, it needs to be pretty specific. You're going to have better results typically if you're specific, and it will function better. So people have their websites out there, and it's very, very important to have a website that is more like a Swiss Army knife than it is like a scalpel, because you want it to do a lot of things. It has to do a lot of things. It has to let people know that you're in business. They have to explain who you are, what services you offer, where you're located, what your hours are. Maybe it has content on it, right? So it does all kinds of things. But if you're running ads to anywhere, and your offer is not specific, then you're not going to likely have a good level of success, right? So if you're just posting, let's say you run a Facebook ad and all you say is, hey, we're in business, we're a veterinary hospital. It's not going to be that effective. People are not going to, they say, yeah, I know, you're a veterinary hospital. That's great. Versus if you said, we're having a dental month special this month. Come in for dental month, right? That ad is going to be targeting a specific group of people that are going to be interested in that offer. But then if you send them to the website and just the general website, it's not going to have as much success, because the tool that you're sending them to is, again, a general tool. So if you're sending them to the home page and you're just sending all of your traffic for AdWords, or if you're sending specific offer type posts, or very specific things to your veterinary practice's website, it's not going to be set up for success and convert. You might get some conversion, but it's making the person coming to the website do a lot of work. So having an ad that creates an offer, I think that you need to have the correct tool, which would be a landing page for that to follow up. So that will help you to increase your conversion, and will really help you to be more effective. Because across every step of marketing, if you're doing conversion type marketing and you have a very specific offer, it's important that you outline what the offer is, how the person should get it, and what the next step should be, instead of the person going to your website and saying, okay, this is the veterinary hospital, I guess, I hope it's the same practice as the ad I just clicked. It doesn't really match, but it might be, and then they have to go and look at your hours, look at your services, and then decide, do they want to actually come into your practice. And if you change that to having a landing page that said, here's the offer, here's how you get it, please put your contact info here and we'll give you a call, or here's how you book an appointment. Very specific jobs help you to be more effective at that job. At conversion. So having everything have a specific job makes it a lot more effective. So I know that this is a lot more work, because you have to have specific pages for your different offers. If you have boarding and grooming and whatever kind of services you have at your practice, I think the more specific that you can be, the more effective that you're going to be. But it will be worth it. And so figuring out how to set this up is very, very important. So we talked about how to think about marketing from the point of the content creation, the offer creation, and what you should be measuring, to the tool that you're going to be using to create that conversion. And so I think that those have to be very aligned, and that it needs to be simple for the person coming into the practice, so that you have the highest chance of success with your marketing. So with that in mind, I created just kind of a 4-step, pretty simple process that you can think about every time you create a piece of marketing or advertising and piece of content, whatever you're doing, so that it will help you to have more success. So first, we need to think with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. What is your goal here? Are you trying to generate awareness, evaluation, or conversion? Are you just trying to get people to know about you? Are you trying to build your list? You want to build your email list? Or are you trying to convert people? You're trying to get your previous and new clients in the door. What is the goal? So after you've defined that, and okay, this is my goal, I'm going to be doing a boarding offer this month, and I want people to book boarding, and here's the special offer that I'm making for people. And I'm going to send out emails and do a Facebook post, for example. You're going to have different KPIs on that that you're going to be measuring. So, what we spoke about here, are we going to be doing number of likes on a post? Are we going to be looking at our email list growth? Or are we going to be looking at the number of appointments that are booked? What is the KPI that we're going to be focusing on? And so once we determine what that KPI we're going to be focusing on, we're going to craft the call to action. And so the call to action is when you ask a person to take specific action based on the piece of content or the offer that you're creating. So make sure that it's very clear and concise how you're going to ask them to take action. Are you asking them to opt in to this email form that you're going to be putting on your website? Are you asking them to call right now and book an appointment? Are you asking them to email you? What is it that you're going to be doing, and how should that person take action? But if you don't ask somebody to do things like and share and comment, subscribe, click, buy, whatever it is you're looking for them to do, they're not going to do it, or they will at a very, very low rate. So make sure that the buttons and the links and descriptions, they match up to what you're trying to achieve. That's one thing I see all the time, and I think that it's a default setting of boosts that happen, but people will post a thing or not a thing, but a picture on their Facebook page. They'll boost it, and then it'll have the button that says send message underneath. And I remember I was looking at one brand's post. They had a post that was really cute, and it was getting a lot of shares, and the text of it was a very hard conversion post. They were hoping that because it got so many shares, that conversion post description would help to convert sales, and the button on it said send message. So it was like trying to accomplish three things. They were trying to build a messenger list, they were trying to get awareness, and they were trying to get conversions. And I remember it did not work at all. So you want to make sure that you have one specific call to action that you're trying to achieve there. And then step 4 is to create and distribute your content. With the content, you have to actually make it and push it out there. If you don't do that, then it sounds stupid, but you have to actually execute. And it's obvious, but that's the last step. Once you execute, it's time to measure and monitor and then adjust. So you should, at this point, be able to decide, was this a successful piece of marketing? Was it not successful? Or was it just not really sure? It's okay to have not sures, or, not a stellar result, not a terrible result, just kind of be a blah result. And so if that's the case, try and figure it out and tweak it just so that you can get it to work. If it worked, try and figure out what made it work. What was the thing that made it a home run? If it failed, why did it fail? Was it confusing? Was it difficult for people to take the action? It's great to get some feedback on this kind of thing. So if you have stuff that flops, you should ask friends and families members, especially ones who are not in veterinary practice or not used to your website. Ask them, hey, can you try this out and see what do you think? Is this, try and get this, does this make sense? And see what they say. Especially if you have some friends who are brutally honest, that's always good. Just don't get discouraged. But I think that this is a pretty good, just simple 4-step process that you can use, and it'll help your marketing to be more effective. I'll give you a quick little bonus here. I think that a lot of practices are on Facebook, and they're marketing on Facebook a lot, and that's great. But with content that you boost, if you're boosting out your offers and your conversion content, I think that's going to set you up for less success. And the reason for that is, if you have a campaign that works, it's hard to use the boosting process to adjust different bids for different types. If for example, if you're measuring something and it's working really well on mobile versus desktop, you can't just pause that easily within a boost. You also can't continue that boosted post easily and get the same level of detail that you can from creating an ad. So if you're doing any kind of offers or evaluation type posts, I would suggest not boosting that, but actually creating an ad for it. Just a little quick tip that will help you to save some money and increase your ROI there. So I hope that this was helpful to you. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. And I'm happy to help. You can go to veterinarymarketingnerds.com. It'll forward you to the Facebook group, and you can join the Facebook group there. I hope that you join, because it's going to be a really, really cool group with, it already has a bunch of really interesting and cool people in it that are very, very knowledgeable that can help out. So if you have any questions or comments, head on over there, and I look forward to talking to some of you this week. I'm doing a webinar on Thursday at noon Pacific. It's actually specifically about Facebook new client acquisition. So if you're interested, you can head on over to that Facebook page at Veterinary Marketing Podcast on Facebook, and that post is at the top there. So if you haven't opted into that, and let me know if you need any help with anything getting signed up for that. But it's going to be a really, really good training, and I'm excited for it. So thanks for listening, everybody. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe in iTunes or Google Play. And if you could do me a huge favor, please leave me an honest review. I would really, really appreciate it. And until next week, I'll see you later.